Hey everybody, welcome back to Spirit Plays More. I realized there's a bag on a chair behind me. It's very unprofessional. Now it never existed. Oh, Spirit Plays More Spinal Nights. Kind of a quickie today. Kind of not. I gotta. There's always stuff to do, and I'm gonna work some overtime today. Because why not? And it's also paying for the future dojo project. Hopefully, we're going to. Oh my gosh, I forgot. The extra.txt file is still lacking. So we're going to do some dreams and nightmares. Before we do this, click the like button, you know, all that stuff. I think I said that already. But we're going to use our existing radiance to hopefully pump up this shield. Go. You're the worst thing ever. Okay, crap. There goes like 3 Dreams and Nightmares runs. Dude, what is going on with these frame spikes, man? Alright, whatever. Alright, let's get going down. So, what better way to wake up? Than with a cat that literally hears me talking and thinks that it's acceptable to interrupt my personal daddy solo gaming time. I know, you're adorable. You need to be here. It's almost like a requirement. Oh my gosh, his hair is just flying off at you. Does no one else pet you? That's not true. Actually, he flees from the 4-year-old. Oh, it's just flying in the air. The 4-year-old, he sees her, just runs away. And I swear that hair just goes right back on. I'm like, nothing will pet me. I cannot be sated. Wait a minute. Hey, Tabor. Good morning. Anyway, you know, when you construct philosophy, I forget what I even titled this, but it's, what is it? Nostalgia that fuels philosophy. That's it. I knew it was something like that. Okay. When you're coming up with a worldview, do I like cats? Do I not like cats? Right? Or a philosophy on anything. You do it in the calmness in your armchair, right? In your folding chair. Get rid of the man cave. Bring back the study, where you sit there and you reason through things and you look for truth and you read about history and all that stuff. But you do it in a calm setting, right? The worst time to formulate a philosophy like what you believe happens in the afterlife, or what you think is a good way to raise children, is either when you're literally firing bullets at somebody, or when you've already had a kid, right? You want to develop this stuff beforehand, in the calmness, in the good comfort feeling zone, whatever that might be. We have a lot of that, to the point where, like, I don't know, man. A little, like, you can stub your toe at work and get furious about that, and complain about safety issues, and yeah, it's just a toe. You're fine. Little things will set you off when you're, especially in an affluent society. Don't headbutt the mic. I command you to grow a portion of your brain that can listen to language and understand it. I've spoken, like that character in The Mandalorian. By the way, I hope we do end up seeing more of The Mandalorian. I really like that. Like, he violated his own personal code in order to, you know, help the child. That's good, because there's the law and there's the spirit of the law, right? There's a lot of uncertainty from my perspective, but I try to be smart, yeah. But shame on the person who says this is the premise of Aldous Huxley's book. Maybe I should just read that online one day. His whole book is like, everyone lives by drugs. It's well, not lives by, but like, there's a drug for everything. Excuse me. I command you to shoot through a solid object. There's a drug for everything. You're feeling depressed, there's a drug for that. You're getting chubby, there's a drug for that. But the premise in that world is that there's too much to know, so why bother trying? Well, that's not. If there is a deity, a creator in this universe, they're going to give you enough evidence in your perspective, in your world, that's etched on you, that you can use the faculty of reason to figure out what's what. Only if you violate that repeatedly throughout the generations does it become a huge stopping point. You know, shame on. Why try doing math? You'll never be good enough. What is the pinnacle of goodness? We should probably go get that key, right? There's always somebody better. Why study martial arts? There's always going to be a better fighter. That's the pessimism. Pessimism is always right. There's always that common denominator, that one-off. You know, it's the same kind of argument that actually goes for abortion. You know, what about the person who's raped and incest? What about them? Okay, well, we take that case and make exception. We don't make a global blanket rule because of it. Just because one person in the world somewhere can beat me as a martial artist doesn't mean I shouldn't try to compete and become awesome. People can understand and appreciate greatness. There's all sorts of YouTube. The whole YouTube premise is showing amazing stuff. Sometimes horribly amazing. Like, it's horrible. You don't want to watch it. But it's still shocking to their own right. Draws the eyes, draws attention. It's amazing. Why bother trying if you'll never be good enough? This is if you back yourself into a pessimistic corner, why live if you're going to die? I mean, you go to this ultimate extreme, but we all understand Bad Religion as a song. I know I give a lot of credit to like Bad Religion, but it's secular philosophy trying to reason its way through things. I think he calls us like an evolutionary biologist, and I think it's what Greg Graffin himself, the lead singer, teaches at a university. You know, why bother trying? And he has a line in his song that says, "Despite my darker tendencies, I have a strong bias to exist." Something is etched on us to want to live, right? Even though we have this reason we can use as a tool. Yeah, why bother if you just repeat the latency? I beat you to it. Yeah. But we have this constant etch inside of us that craves life, right? Life fights against reality. It just straight up does. You know, we can scientifically prove heat death of the universe. So, you know what I mean? Everything will come to a stopping point at some point. But then we find out amazing things through our journey, like if you look at the mathematical... I don't understand this, but I can understand the philosophy. I read... Richard Dawkins, oh my gosh, Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time, and I can't understand the math because physics is just beyond me, but I can understand the philosophy, and the philosophy that's etched into like a black hole is that you could put 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional, I think, information in a black hole and store it for later. Like you can theoretically take it out of a black hole and reproduce it, almost like it's, you know, etched in there forever. Something like that. Oh crap, gotta carve my way up here. So, when we look at philosophies, and I'm going to take my time in this level because I'm not going to do another one. When we look at the philosophies of life, like secularism, atheism, theism, monotheism, pluralism, pantheism, you can't, in a nutshell, because it's the same with relationships, like between a man and a woman. If they're formed in a crisis, odds are they won't last, because the crisis was the means by which they were developed, and we usually don't spend every waking moment of our life in a crisis. You need, when calmness and reason sets in, like they always do, because anger fades, so does sadness, so does depression. We all get to this basic state of neutrality in our being. That's when reason will come back. Yeah, things are done often without a thought through point. That's very true. Not only that, but it is the season of unforgiveness, man. It really is. And because people know it's the season of unforgiveness, the way you get virtue is by pointing at somebody that is worse than you. But no one stops to think about what guidelines, what constitutes better. What is your framework of good? This is usually the drawing point when people start to converse with politics. For myself, like, okay, well, why is that good and the other one not good? We have to define terms here. Give me a reasonable explanation. It's very tough for them because once you go from the realm of politics to the realm of reason, oh my gosh, can you get out of the way, you turd? Get him, Mike. Show him what's up. That's right, knock him on his butt. Oh, we did it. Once you get out of politics in the realm of morality, rather, not reason, that's when oh no, can I get it? Crap, I have to actually fight. Excuse me. I'm gonna get in there. Alright. Oh. That frame spike wouldn't happen if my extra.txt was working, game. Just saying. How am I gonna get through this? Oh, crap. No, 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 no. Ah! Meanwhile, my cat's purring on my lap. You know, I decided, like, my cat decides he likes me when I'm stationary. There you go. Kitty cat philosophy. When you're nice and calm, the kitty cat loves you. He sits in your lap and he purrs. When you're up and about, he's actually quite angry that you're not sitting down so he can purr in your lap. I did it. It's all about cats. That's where we get our philosophy from. Boom. I like how cats have turned through, I guess it's micro-evolution. I don't know. Maybe God just made them that way. But domesticated cats purr. People like this, and they survive. There's a cat that comes, her name's Clara. We named her this. But she comes out every so often to the back door and just sits there. Doesn't meow, doesn't do anything. If she doesn't meow, we can't hear it. And we feed her. Why? Because I think it's like my kids love her. She's just a little black calico cat that shows up. Because we know, and I can explain this to them, and I know it's a stray, and I know it's just producing to the cat population they'll get run over by cars. I know this, but life is beautiful. Life overrules choice and reality sometimes. Choice and reality. Sorry, it's on par with reality. Oh, I gotta fight these guys. But life is at the top. There's a point in the Jesus's biggest talking points, oh my gosh, frame spikes. Biggest counterpoints were to the Pharisees because they thought they knew it all. But it's not because they were unrighteous. They were the most righteous people on earth. The thing is, they had Moses' law. Then they created a book because they were so afraid of violating the law, called the Talmud, on how to avoid violating the law. And if that wasn't enough, they also, it begins with an S, I think. They created another book on how to avoid it's like even how to avoid even the things that might make you in danger if you're trying to avoid violating the law. This was like 3 deep things. So what they did, it turned into a giant religion of works. So they said, Jesus said you'd strain a gnat and swallow a camel. They'd tithe mint, but they'd expect money from the poor. There was a point in Old Testament where by the law, thank you, Verlaine, you actually did something. By the law, you couldn't charge rent, right? But they were so servitude and slavery is a different topic altogether. So it's a different thing, different kind of concept when you get into like Old Testament. It's more like a contract. And every 7 years, everybody's set free, unless they decide to live with whoever they're in contract with. Give me a minute. I think we already hit it somehow. Good. So what they were doing is, by the letter of the law, it's evil to charge rent. But they were selling people and selling people's contracts for a pair of shoes. People. So, like this kind of stuff where you can, by the letter of the law, you're just fine. But the spirit of the law, the hierarchy of things, life is way higher. It's way higher. Right? This is the whole the progressive, leftist, whatever you want to call it. Progressivism, the philosophy just keeps pushing the envelope. Eventually, you push the envelope, you die. You'll affirm God's law, the structure He put in place to make us people, and break yourself at the same time. There's only so much you can do to the human body, even by little increments, like eating massive amounts, like slowly to massive amounts of sugar. You can push that line as long as you want, but you're eventually going to break it. Same kind of concept. So in this comfort zone, that's Spiral Knights. Tigers purr? I don't know about that, man. I don't think tigers or lions do. I read that they did not. I'm sorry, it took me a while to read your comments. But I don't know about that. I don't think they do. Now you're gonna make me get on Google, and I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting on Google. You've seen videos? I've seen videos of cats talking. I've seen videos of the screaming marmot. You ever see the screaming marmot? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. You're gonna see it. $2.5 million views. Hold on. Here it is. There you go. Visible proof that animals can scream. That's like my favorite video. I laughed so hard when I first saw that I cried. It was amazing. Tigers have a deep meow. No. Like that. I know what you're trying to say. But I don't know. I don't. But I watched I watched a couple of documentaries on it, and they said that the same thing that lets lions purr. Or sorry, same thing that lets cats purr is the same kind of vocal cord that lets lions meow. Like the same kind of trend out. You might be right, but the ones I watched, which who knows what they were on Animal Planet or something. Who knows? Maybe I was wrong. Oh, it's the same meow. So that's considered a meow, I guess. I mean, if a chipmunk would talk, no one would be able to understand it because the high pitchedness of it would just be too much. Maybe. Oh, my screaming marmot. Tiger meow. I'm not doing it right now. I looked up the screaming marmot because I have before. I've seen it in all its glory, all its honor and splendor. Someday I'll try to beat this without knocking all those things down. But it seems a lot safer to do it this way. Go get a mic. You're the best. Alright. There's he's like 7 feet tall. This black guy I work with from Miami, Florida. Oh my gosh. I saw 2 frames of that before it hit me. Not that I could dodge it anyway. But he's playing like all 70s white music. There's 80s white music. It's amazing. Their Illusion? I gotta look at this stuff more, man. I got poisoned again. So he was listening like Eye of the Tiger. And he's like, you heard the Ben Sticks? Like a Miami, Florida accent, I guess. I don't know. Alright, let's just use this. Excuse me, I hit the button. That was not the right button, but I'll accept it. Let's use this one instead. I'll look up Tiger Meows. Tiger Meows are alright. Little dipsy doodle. So my daughter also... Oh, we're talking about nostalgia, but the next video I make it's probably gonna be Minecraft. I'm not kidding, I played it for 4 seconds just to set it up, to give my character hair plus a mohawk. I'm done. I got bit. I couldn't. They got me. They boxed me in. But I had my daughter write me. I can't pause online games. I'm sorry. She wrote me instructions. There's like 29 of them, and I'm like, honey, I'm gonna play the game on the hardest mode. Yeah, I need your help. You gotta give me instructions. So she wrote out instructions, I think behind me during the last video. By the way, later on today, I have the game actually remained paused all day, so I continued that Catacomb Kids run. Unfortunately, the game bugged out at the end. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, we got to go a little further. It wasn't too much further. I would like to get to floor 30. I think that involves... Oh! Suddenly I'm teleported over there. That was one of the comments. That was I guess a counter comment to the 5 reasons, 10 reasons to play 5 reasons to play Spiral Knights in 2021 was like, why not to play? Huge lag spikes to throw you into legit spikes. I'm like, yeah, that does happen. I've heard. My daughter watches videos all the time. Like, I started asking her, what do I do? And she started saying, like, she holds all this information, and she's like me with philosophy and theology. Yeah, I'm at a luxury where there's guys in my work who will sit there. I roughly have a captive audience because it's like we work with giant metal beams, and so they give us a lot of time to do our work. Because the worst thing that can happen is be like, yo, I need this 30,000 pound steel beam to be on this truck in 2 seconds. And you're like, all right, allow me to rush this. And you're driving it with a forklift. You're like, that's not something you want to have happen. Like, you want complete speaking of calm and serenity and nostalgia, right? You want complete calm in that situation. You want to be in your zone, in your element. This is not something you want to drop. Not only might you break it, but there's lots of people around you. No, maybe not lots, but there's piles of these things that are separated by wood. And they're all 30,000. I'd say they're anywhere between 1 to 5,000, but sometimes you pick up 6 at a time. So it gets a little nuts. You want to be cool, calm, and collected. The same thing can be transferred to real life, right? The heavier decisions that you have to make, the ones that really are weighty, you want to take your time with. You don't want to have it happen in a crisis and then make it some kind of vow in a crisis situation that says, I'll never do this. You want to reason it through during calm times. And even just saying that is tough. Like, you want to avoid the crisis situations because of how they make you feel, as if feeling is the be-all, end-all. Now, feeling is important because with feeling comes the spirit of the law, right? But the spirit of the law must also be ruled by the head. You have to have reason being the forefront. You can't have emotion being the forefront, because that's how you fall victim to the flesh, the thing that lets you interact with this material world. It has wants and needs too, and its feelings can meld itself on to actual needs. We watched the movie Storks last night. If you haven't seen Storks, just look up the wolf pack on Storks. It's quite amazing. Hold on. If I can finish this video, I'm gonna show you Wolfpack. It's like, I laughed. The whole movie's like, eh. I mean, my kids loved it, obviously, because it's a kid movie and they love it. But the Wolfpack is ridiculous. Like it caught me out of left field. I'm like, oh my gosh! And this was when I got a projector. My wife got me one for, I don't know, Father's Day years ago. I think this is the one we love. She got me a projector, and I set it up for one of our game days. We're gonna have another game day next Saturday. I wish we could video that. No, can't do that. Basically, my friends and their kids all come over and we play like board games. Hardly ever video games. We play like Ultimate Chicken Horse. That might be a game we play. It's a fun game. I get it. Like, everybody gets into that one. Even if you win or lose, it's still a fun game to play. Although the winner obviously wants to play more. This is like any other game, right? The winner wants to play more. The losers are like, I don't know how much I can. You gotta find more people to play. But the whole thing about, like, it's a tearjerker because it's about babies. It's about storks delivering babies, the movie. And they're all like, storks don't deliver babies. Not anymore. But then they do. Because all you have to do is send a letter, put it in this machine, and it makes babies. And then they deliver it. But it's nice. The best feeling in the movie is, like, toward the end, where you get this, you see all these little the parents, honestly, and this makes me choke up as a dad, because you see the value, the feeling of, there's two parts of it, right? The one part is the baby's happiness. All the babies are happy. They cry when they're hungry. I think it's just the only time they really cry in the movie, anyway, not in real life. Let's use this because I never get to use stuff here. Now you're frozen. Yo, it rained on my back of my head. So you see that, they're overjoyed. And then you see the parents. The parents are actually the ones that have the most emotional feeling. And this is separate, because after, seeing the birth of two of my children, or at least 1.5, C-sections, I'll tell the first story again someday. But seeing the birth, at least of my second child, dude, and then you're awake for days afterward, like 2 days straight, trying to get things ready and trying to just make sure she eats. And, it's a, talk about binding you long term and short term. It's a great day. Now I get to see them laugh. And, oh my gosh, they were just jumping all over. I couldn't get them off me. They did not want to go to bed last night. They were unruly, bad kids. Except I still love them. But the emotion that comes along with having a new child is amazing. And I can only imagine how it is with adoption. Like suddenly saying, you are mine. You are claimed. You're not alone. You are family. You're part of this. You got this. We're with you. That kind of thing. Oh my gosh, what on earth hit me? Let's interrupt this deep philosophical talk to be shot by a bullet that's unseen. Look at all these black squid. What am I really complaining about? The whole video is meant to, like, for you to unfocus your mind. Not video, level. Unfocus your mind and pretend you can see. Like let your brain make the images for you. That's the whole premise of this. Because there's just so much you can't see with all these freaking black dots everywhere. Keep knocking him down. He won't get back up again, because we are going to forever keep him down. But the emotion we're only, if you think about it, the entire human race is one generation away from extinction. If we do not keep going. America right now is a dying country. Like, literally. We die more. I mean, you could say this is because of COVID. Last I checked, and it's still been months, right? It was 3 months ago. Last I checked, the average death age of COVID was 86. Why are we shutting down schools? You know what I mean? Like, so the elderly population's kind of gone a little bit. But even though we know we're on our way there, that's still besides the point. The journey together is awesome. My wife lost her dad. I don't. This is I lost my dad last July. But we didn't have a very serious connection. He chose, roughly, to summarize the story, he chose his job. Meanwhile, like, when I was 13, I asked him the question, why don't you just move out here? He said it's not that easy. And I'm like, that I think was one of the turning points of my life. Like, why is not life and relationship here? And money and work, or, like, it's, like, things were, like, that didn't seem right. And I thought, freaking cat here. Oh my gosh, dude. That was an intense piece of fluff. Even though I couldn't articulate it at the time, later on, when I started reading books on parenting, because I didn't really, I wanted to be part of a 2-person household for lots of reasons. So I started reading about it, and one of the lines I read, and one of the, I think I had like 3 or 4 that are dedicated just to child rearing, is the worst thing a parent can do is assume there's a relationship there without making one, and assume that your children should give you fealty even though you've done nothing. You need to, and this book also talked about, like, when you are a father, shame on you. We got a spark of life. Shame on you if you insist that your child does whatever you want them to do, as far as, like, vocation or self-discipline, and you don't make the effort to, like, jump into their lives and see what they want. So I got Minecraft for my daughter. I got Slime Rancher. Everybody loved it here. Yeah! 2 more runs like that, and we can hopefully roll on the shield again. Not roll. Upgrade the shield. Hopefully. I'm gonna see if I can sell some stuff from the auction house, maybe. Redstone engineers, the speedrunners, the casuals, the builders who create amazing structures, and the hardcore survivors. Well, if I put it on the hardest mode and play it for a while, and, dude, hold on. There's so many windows. I need more screens. So, she got me, here are the instructions. I'm gonna read these. I'm gonna do them. Step, there's 24 steps. P.S. Hard Minecraft is not easy, especially in the nether and in the end, so you might die a lot. And don't forget to look for extra on end city ships. And when you've defeated the Ender Dragon, You beat the game. So that's what we'll be doing. Instead of a loading screen, I figured I'd share that. But it seems fun. I don't know, man. Yeah. There's reading your comment there. There's you can do that. I have two girls, right? It's different than a guy girl relationship, a father son relationship. But I can do that. But I try to reason them back because my kids having thin skin, the world does not care about that. The world straight up does not. And if you teach your kids the world should, you're setting them up for failure. The world's gonna be tough. They're gonna be disappointed. So, like, my kid stubs her toe. I'm like, is it falling off? Is it broken? Are you okay? Breathe for a minute. You'll be fine. Or like, my sister's not listening to me. Does she have to? So what can you do instead? Know what I mean? Like, we're reasoning our way through these things. Sometimes suck it up. Again, parenting is done with calm peace of mind, which never happens. So when I say suck it up, buttercup, that is usually hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or stressed out. I made a whole video on this on how to control your anger in video games. It's the same way in how to be a good parent. Same way with everything, really. It's like a general be all end all. What was I doing? Selling material. Oh, how's our token? Hold on. How's our tokens look? Well, I got a cake. It might give me something. I get knocked down, but today's Saturday. I don't have to make my daughter's lunch. I got 5 more minutes. Did something just blow up over there? Maybe I can negotiate for half a ticket. Probably not. How many tokens do we got? Can we go buy something? My tokens. 99! How much you need for jelly stuff? I forget. I don't feel like walking all the way over there. That's like a loading screen. It's going to take 30 minutes to do it. Yeah. So with my father and myself, it's he chose to stay out in California the majority of the time. He did try to connect a couple times, but he was over there. I was over here, and it was not reciprocated. He also didn't really jump into my... I mean, it's every one of these is a complex issue. I can say he didn't. There's always something I could have done, right, to bridge the gap. So, when I hit my 30s, I'm like trying to talk to my dad about deeper things. He dodges the question, like, constantly. And I'm like, I really want to talk to you about this stuff, Dad. At least I tried to. But he did not want to share. And contrast this with, one of the conversations I have with my best friend's older brother. He was saying he stays away from certain shows because his kids start asking questions about death and they get infatuated with it. And I got a little ticked about that. Because in my mind, I'm like, if you as their father do not talk to them about death, who is going to? Nobody. Or rather, a governmental body who has an agenda, right? They'll tell you, do whatever you can here. Doesn't believe in, as long as your spirit's right and you're sincere, you'll be fine. But the same kind of secular philosophy also doesn't teach business ethics anymore, so... It's only wrong if you get caught. Imagine that. It's only wrong if the safety policy is only bad if someone gets hurt. So why have one? Sometimes you can save money just not having one, right? Every child gets through understanding death. I think my 4-year-old just went through that when we told her about a cat that passed away. And she knew about that. She internalized it the other night, and she just would not stop crying about it. Like, she just missed Lulu and Pappy. Like, she lumped them both together. But a child can relate to a cat at this age more than they can relate to, a person in a relationship over long term. I think that makes sense. I keep clicking the wrong thing. There we are. Heart to heart time. Yeah, so, kids. Anybody want to do Jelly King? I think we about hit our end though. So right now, I'm enjoying building relationships at my job. It's neat interacting with machinery I've never done before. People I'm just meeting, introducing each other to each other's lives. So going back to the whole death internalization thing, I remember when I realized this, I was 5 years old, and I just realized I'm going to die someday. That is extremely scary, and I start crying in the car. My mom's like, oh, "You all right?" I'm like, yeah. And 25 years later, I actually have a firm foundation. Like, so you see, because I saw my father-in-law go from healthy to emaciated to literally dead. So you start to think about this stuff, and I'm around heavy steel beams, so I'm trying to visualize the pain it will cause. One of those lands on my leg. There's no bouncing off. It will go through my leg. What would that feel like, and could I survive it? And then I'm like, why am I dwelling on such dark things when I know the truth? But when you get to the point where you start seeing your parents pass away, I mean, the end is near. That's why COVID's so scary. People don't want to think about this. We put beautiful people on our media. We don't put death counts. But fear can control people. You don't want to die? Do what we tell you. We have answers. But death is inevitable. That's the other flip side. But, yeah, parents passing is sad. But then there's two parts to it, right? Helping them on their way, and then understanding. You can meet deaths standing, understanding like it's a passage. Like it's a performance, like a recital, like it's a public speaking event. Black belt test for myself. And it's just one of those things. You're going to go through it just like everybody else. And there's something else after. Hope is extremely fundamental when meeting death. Otherwise, you will just counter it with anxiety, with franticness, with resistance, with a hard fist. It can be sudden, you're correct. But still, just like any other philosophy and nostalgia, what you want to do is be in a nice, calm, cool environment. Like this. Nice, cool music in the background. This is where you think out and reason your way toward things like that, toward the end. So that way, when it hits you, it's not that bad. Anyway, I gotta get a shower and get ready for work. Overtime day today. And then we're gonna work on the dojo, dude. I might pop up pictures of my barn. I was thinking about putting it on another channel, the martial arts stuff I do, because I do have some of that on video. But that'll do for this one. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, click the like button, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Take care, Tabor.